Ah, I love this film, Tom.
Great.
I mean, a sense of awe in it. One thing that just fascinates me is movies that either discuss or talk about faith are rare, even if it's ambiguous. And they usually dumb down to the audience or patronize the audience instead of smarten up where this one smartens up. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely. I think that the great thing about this is that nothing is wrapped up in a nice, attractive package, which is usually what movies about faith do. Movies about faith usually say, look, it's a very simple answer. All you have to do is this, and the end result is eternal bliss or eternal happiness. As though that it's possible to understand that for every blessing, it's impossible to understand for every blessing there is a curse, for every triumph there is a tragedy. I think ultimately our lives are ambiguous things, and for every miracle there is a mystery, and that's the stuff that I end up pondering.
And not so much that we give the audience answers, that we ask great questions.
Yes, yeah. Which they themselves then have to wrestle with in order to get to the answer.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Could you do in real life what your character does?
Lord, no, not at all.
Isn't that amazing?
No, yeah. The thing about this is that it had absolutely nothing to do with my existence or my experience whatsoever. Could never have come close to doing the things that this guy does. And yet, at the same time, I understood it completely. I read Frank's adaptation first. I was almost afraid to go back and read Stephen King's novels because I thought, well, then I'm going to be mad at Frank. You know, he's going to have left stuff out, and he's going to have changed things. He will have made some arbitrary, stock, decisions in order to propel the story along. I found just the opposite. He had just distilled this thing down to its purest form. But what Paul Edgecomb goes through, I think, is this constant paradoxical dilemma that he has to wrestle with every time he walks onto the Green Mile.
Don't we all in our lives make decisions that maybe in retrospect we wish we wouldn't have made, or we're in a job, or we're in a movie that we don't want to be in, but at some point you meet your maker in a sense and say, I'm going to do what I have to live with, which is what your character does.
Well, we all have those things where we say, well, here's what okay, you have to understand what I was going through at the time. Which is why
I was really stupid back then.
I didn't know. I was dumb. I was only 32. What did I know at the age of 32? Things like that. Yeah, we all have that kind of stuff. And I think the real measure of ourselves, and maybe that is actually the acquiring of wisdom, is you get to this kind of place where you just cop to the fact, yeah, I did that. And you don't make excuses for why you did it anymore. You instead accept the responsibility for what you did. But sometimes that might only come about after some degree of self-examination.
Yeah, I'm kind of convinced that wise people are people who have a sense of humility, and usually they're a little bit older.
Yeah, they are. Although I met a lot of stupid old people too.
Well, that's true.
but
I think you can be wise. You can be wise at your age or my age.
You know what? One of the smartest things I ever heard, and I wasn't even there, is that a friend of mine was talking to his grandmother, and the grandmother said, this guy was complaining about not wanting to do this thing that he was enmeshed in. I can't remember. And the grandmother says, well, then why are you doing it? This is because, oh, come on, Grandma. Look, life is short. And I don't want to have to put it because, because ultimately life is short. And this grandmother looked at him and says, no, it's not. Life is long.
Really long.
And that, that solved the answer right there. So that he quit what he was doing, he quit complaining about it, and he took a different brand of responsibility.
Hey, will you address the whole idea of, I think most actors would love to have the career that you're having and have the choices that you have. And I think you earn those choices. You earn those choices by doing good work. And good work makes better, and successful movies make for better screenplays and whatever that comes your way. But you're making good decisions. I'm assuming you feel great about the decisions you're making.
Well, I feel as though that I make the decision and then never look back. I will tell you that. I don't kick myself in the head later on for getting enmeshed in stuff because the main thing not the main thing, but one of the big things I weigh is can I embrace this for as long as I have to embrace this thing, good or bad? Because the odds are against you making a good movie. Chances are you're going to do something that kind of works but doesn't quite work, and you're going to have to go out. You're going to have to get on the whole celebrity mule train. You got to figure out how to make the movie, then you got to make the movie, then you got to sell the movie. That's a long process that you have to go through, and unless you really were pure about your intentions of doing it in the first place, man, oh man, that can be a real drain on everything. And so I feel good that ultimately I've been able to say, can I'd like to do this movie. I'll give myself over to it and live by whatever decisions we make in the course of making it.